Everybody, so we're back again with this Dell laptop, which I featured in a recent video. The customer has elected to go ahead and have this thing worked on. So what we're going to be doing to this thing is we're going to be swapping out the hard drive for a solid state drive, taking a look at the memory, see if we can increase that. Should be able to put like 8 gigs in here, depending on what I have. And then we'll be putting Windows 11 on this thing. So first thing we'll do is remove the battery, as this computer has a removable battery. Why can't newer computers have this? Well, what do you think about that? So let's go ahead and take off this door here, which should get us access to both the hard drive as well as the memory. And there we are. And it does have a DIMM-B slot. Okay, so this one requires DDR3L memory. I'll have to see if I have any of that. But our hard drive is right here, so I'll be pulling that out and installing a solid state drive here in just a moment. Well, okay everybody, so after going through my stack of DDR3 SODIMM, I happen to have one stick of DDR3L memory. It's a 4GB module. So first let's go ahead and just see what we have here. Now it's looking like we're going to be mismatching modules. Yeah, I'm not exactly the biggest fan of doing that, but I've done it many times before. Never had an issue. Man, they make it really difficult to get these open, don't they? Been there for a while, don't want to come out easy. So they're not exactly the same. They're both Samsung modules. They're both PC3L12800S, but the chips on this module look a little different. We'll stick it in there and see what happens. Hopefully it'll accept it. So let's go ahead and stick this one back in, and I'm going to put this one over here. Make sure it's fully seated in there. Alright, we're good. Okay, so now it's going to get my memory up. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this drive out of here. Okay, let's go ahead and pull this drive out of here. The screw is kind of hidden. It's back inside here. Like, come on now, Dell. It looks like something HP would do. Alright, let's see if this thing will come back now. There we are. And then it lifts out. Still a little awkward to get out of there, but anyways, there it is. So what I'll do is I'll be recovering the data off of this drive, and it will transfer that back over to the solid state drive, because we're doing a clean installation anyways. So let's go and get a solid state drive and stick it in there. Brand new, never before opened. Okay, so let's go ahead and transfer over this metal piece here. It's just 2 screws, it looks like. Yep, 2 screws, and it transfers over. I guess they'll want to take a shortcut and only use 2 screws instead of a full-size bracket. So there you go. Good job, Dell. Why use 4 screws when you can just use 2? I mean, why would you need 4 screws anyway? I don't know. Maybe more structural stability. Who needs that? Stick that in there. Ditto for the second one. Okay, let's go ahead and get this thing back in there. Just the way it came out. Awkward as can be. Okay, reinstall our screw. Okay, well, it's finally back in there. Of course, Dell putting this little screw back here behind this plastic made that a little harder than it needed to be. But anyways, let's go ahead and put this door back on. Okay. Stick our battery back in there. Alrighty, so I should note that if you are transferring your data from your hard drive to the new SSD, like if you're doing a disk clone, you would need to use something like a SATA to USB adapter and some free partitioning software like Minitool or whatever to do the data copy. And I have a video up on the channel about how to do the disk cloning process, which, as mentioned, I'm not doing it in this video because, well, here we're actually doing a clean install on this SSD, and I'll just recover the files manually and transfer them over because the owner is kind of starting out with a clean slate with this machine in a way. So next part of this video, we're going to be installing Windows 11 on this thing. Okay, so let's see if this thing will start up. Your battery has experienced permanent failure and needs to be replaced. Wonderful. So they probably should get a new battery for this thing. I'll definitely let them know about that. Alright, so here we are in the system setup utility. And it sees both our new solid state drive as well as the 8 gigabytes of memory. So now we have 8 gigs of memory in this thing. Now we could probably have done 16 gigs if we wanted to, but I told them I would at least up it to 8 gigabytes. So if you recall in the previous video, this machine was downgraded from Windows 8 to Windows 7. I say figuratively speaking, because I would actually consider that more an upgrade, to be honest with you. But this thing had Windows 7 put on it, so there are some things in the BIOS setup utility that have probably been turned off, like Secure Boot and possibly UEFI booting. But let's just have a look here. Let's see what we have. Yeah, as I mentioned, boot list options set to legacy. We're going to change that to UEFI. And we're going to actually turn this back on. Let's do a quick check of everything else. Everything else here seems okay. I'll definitely let them know about the battery. And of course, probably got one bad cell in the whole pack. That wouldn't be surprising at all. Alright, so let's go ahead and exit out of the setup utility. Now, I should note this thing's not going to have any OS on it right now, so we should see a boot error. So the internal hard disk drive not found, or rebootable devices. So let's go ahead and reinsert or insert our flash drive. And let's go ahead and reset this. Okay, now it's booting off the flash drive, and of course As you probably know, this computer does not meet the Microsoft Elite Class system requirements for Windows 11. That's my nickname for the Windows 11 system requirements. So I made sure the customer was aware of this. Now, of course, when I'm talking with customers, I don't refer to these requirements as the Microsoft Elite Class requirements. I refer to them as the Windows 11 system requirements. And I let them know that the system doesn't meet the official requirements, and that basically they would have to bring it back to me about a year or so to have me manually install the next feature build. So that's how I'm handling Windows installations on computers now that Windows 10 is going to be losing support in October. And they specifically ask for Windows 11 on this machine. So we have Windows 11 24H2 on a USB drive, and I should note that I use Rufus to set the drive up, and then later on I swapped over the install.win file from a Windows 11 24H2 image over to my 23H2 installer. That way we get the classic Windows 11 23H2 pre-installation environment, which is much better than the new garbage they have nowadays with 24H2. So let's go ahead and run through setup here. So it's just like installing 23H2, really, to be honest. And again, since we use Rufus to set this up, it bypasses what I call the Elite Class checks. I'm going to say I don't have a product key. Now this machine should have a license for Pro. So if I tip the machine over and look at the back of it, yeah, it was Pro. Now the thing is, I don't know if it will activate. If it doesn't, now I have to chat with the customer. We'll figure that out. But anyways, we'll go ahead and set this up. Alrighty, and we'll go ahead and install Windows 11. Okay, so installation has finished. Let's go ahead and run through the out-of-box setup. And when I set up this installer, I also bypass the requirement for internet connection. So that way I do have the option to bypass having to connect to a network. So it's like that. And I also bypass the requirement for a Microsoft account. And also I bypass the requirement to have to fill out the little questionnaire that's part of the setup. So let me go ahead and put in the person's name. I'm just going to run to setup here. As you can see, nothing really needing to be done there. In just a moment we'll get our taskbar. Okay, and our taskbar has finally loaded. It always takes a little while to load on the first startup when you install Windows 11. So we're going to connect to a network and let this thing begin installing updates and any needed drivers, which we might see the screen flicker here in just a moment, or stuff like that. Okay, let's go ahead and correct the date and time, specifically the time zone. Okay, so we'll let this thing install updates as needed, and looks like we might have to purchase a key for this thing to activate it because it's still showing not activated. So yeah, normally by now it would have picked up on that by itself, but as you can see it hasn't done it yet. So it's funny, I clicked on that button there to activate Windows Now, and apparently it just needed a minute to pick up on the embedded license key on this system. So it did in fact activate. Now, I don't think this machine has ever had Windows 10 put on it. It had Windows 8 Pro on it originally, but it was downgraded to Windows 7 Pro. That's interesting. So it makes me wonder if you could still activate Windows 10 or Windows 11 using a Windows 8 key. Now we know that Microsoft turned off the ability to activate with Windows 7 keys back in, what was it, 2023? Sometime that year. So that's kind of interesting to see. So that being said, this thing is going to go ahead and download some drivers off the internet through Windows Update and install updates, all that good stuff. Other than that, there's not really too much to show. Of course, if I restart, it's going to probably, yep, I can already see it's installing updates in the background right now. So, okay, so we're in Windows Update, and I should note that in some cases, to get drivers to download and install, you do have to go into Windows Update and go down to Advanced Options, and then go down to Optional Updates. You can see we have some available, and we have 10 driver updates. For example, Bluetooth controller, audio driver, wireless LAN controller driver, chipset driver, so we'll make sure that we go ahead and get, let's go ahead and select all of these actually. That way we'll ensure that the important drivers do get installed on this thing. Anyways, that is swapping out the hard drive for a solid state drive in this Dell Latitude 3440 laptop, and also putting Windows 11 on the thing. Even though this machine don't meet the Microsoft Elite class requirements for Windows 11, you can still see it's running it just fine. And if we go and look in the version of what we have here, go back to system. Yeah, we still need to get the trackpad driver, don't we? So we have Windows 11 Pro 24H2. So, anyways, that wraps it up for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.